Howdy, howdy, everybody. This is your boy TK from Rotlot Media. So excited to have you guys here today because we're going to be talking about Exquisite Corpses. Yes, another Image comic. My favorite. I'm an Image fan. Let's go. Yeah, so, we're going to be talking about a very fun and interesting comic today. And yeah, so this is obviously made by Image Comics. It was published in 2025. It's currently up to 12 issues, with I believe a 13th issue being its final. And yeah, so what is Exquisite Corpses? This is a horror themed, yeah, I call it horror themed, like battle royale kind of comic book in which America's 12 wealthiest families who secretly play a battle royale every 5 years to determine who's in charge of the country. Yeah, so with these wealthy families, I think they're like a part of the original colonies. I, I don't know. I think there's technically a 13th one, but I don't think they show up. But yeah, so we have all these wealthy families who control all aspects of like military, telecommunications, electricity. Like they're the ones actually running the government. Everybody that we see is just like a puppet for them. And as a person who's unbelievably rich, they get bored and they want to spice things up. And yeah, this is a really good comic, and I would recommend this to you guys. It's got beautiful art and everything that goes with it. It's kind of fun because it's got that like tournaments. Obviously it's a battle royale, so you have that tournament style bracket system where you're watching people like live and die, see if your favorite person can make it to the end. And they just have such a fun time getting you invested into the comic. Maybe the replay value of it, isn't the highest because you know who will win or who dies, but this is such a good, like, the less you know, the better kind of comic in terms of like the fighters and the main people. And yeah, so with the concept of Exquisite Corpses, pretty much the wealthy families, they will choose a champion to fight for them, and they will give them weapons specifically themed from the families themselves. So you have like people with the hammer card, the gun card, wires, and it's interesting how they like change it up because like if you got the sword card, then your weapon it can be a katana, it could be a claymore, like stuff like that, like and you have to use that weapon to win the game. So you can't go off the beaten track. You have to use what's provided to you. And the killers each have a different motivation on why they show up and play. Some of them for revenge, others to because they just love killing people. Some do it for research, some do it for just the love of the game. And yeah, so all of the champions, they're dropped in a small town where all forms of communication with the outside world is cut off. No in and out, and especially no way out. And yeah, so each one of them given a signature weapon that the family provides. You also get the perspectives by the wealthy families, the killers, and the residents inside that are experiencing this atrocity occurring in their town. And it's really good. It's all got a lot of fun elements into it because even if you're not in love with the killers or the wealthy people, you can still like, yeah, the residents. I hope they can overcome any issues. And I think that's such a good and fun time. Yeah. Obviously with the themes in the comic, you have your horror elements. I think each one of the killers kind of has that like I think a different theme to them. I want to call it like a hard coded thing, but like you have a strangler type, you have an arsonist type, you have person on the cover right there. You got your Kill Bill style of just hack and slash them. You got obviously the person with the gun you think would win automatically, but surprises are ensue for everybody. But yeah, with the continuation of this horror thing, like I said, each one of these killers just has a unique style to the way that they kill that reminds you from all the way from like the 80s to 90s, the early 2000 different killers. And I think it's such a fun time, and I wish I could show it to you in like a better way, but I think another cool thing about this comic is because you have all these different killers, you have the different covers. So like each one that I've collected, it's had each one of the different killers. And so once you have all 13, boom, you have all, 12, 13 of them. And I think that's just, it's another fun thing to collect. Each one of them's a different color. Each character's kind of color coded to who they are. And I think it's really good. And then, it gives you a good just enjoyment of a time. It's kind of hard to put in the words, Only other thing is I could really like show it to you. So yeah, with the art style, very creative. The color palettes, immaculate. The good colors that come with it, and the different collectible covers, and with all the unique prints. And yeah, let me see if I can find a page or two where you guys can just see that all kind of playing out. And so, for example, you have some of the first killers. You have Recluse and Leopold Strong, each one representing a different, wealthy family. And I think it's such a good way to introduce the family members as well, because as you're getting introduced to each of the families, they all have personalities just like the killers. So you obviously have the Carolina family of Lady Carolina right there. You had Recluse, you had all the other people. You have the lone gunman, and you just see all these just beautiful colors, and you get to see some of the motivations for why certain people get picked up to be a killer. And yeah, I think it's just a really solid comic series. Definitely recommend everybody pick it up. From what I can tell when I was searching online, easy enough to find, plenty of reprints. The price is staying fine. You shouldn't have to worry about paying, $30 for an issue unless you're looking for a specific cover. And yeah, definitely, try to look for this comic at your local LGS. I think most of them, they're still running this comic right now, so you should be able to find it, if not some of the later issues, and pick up the earlier ones however you can. My go-to place if you're looking for comics is, if I can't find it at my local gaming store, I'll then go to some other comic book store, and then eventually I'll make my way online where, looking up eBay and stuff like that. But I like to go to mycomicbookshop.com. Not sponsored. I would love to be sponsored by them, but but that's where I find a lot of my comics online if I can't find them in person. And I definitely recommend you guys look and go for that. I think you'll be able to find a lot of comics you didn't even know about. And, hopefully with me doing this little series, you guys get introduced to, more and more unique / your tried and true comics. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else I really need to talk about when it comes to this comic book series. It's been an absolute delight. You get to see all the characters interact. And I think the artists and the illustrators, I think they did really well with this one. And I think you're just going to have a good time with it. And yeah, I'm just going to keep this one pretty short. It's better the less you know, and I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. All right. I just wanted to wish you guys a good day. Thank you for joining me here at Rotlot, and I can't wait to see you guys later. All right. Bye.